Tobacco products will face additional excise duty, while a new cess on pan masala over and above GST will replace the existing compensation cess.
Motown Dispatches data starts trickling in. Players reported a strong performance led by M&M, which posted 25% year-on-year growth in total sales, driven by robust PV, CV and tractor demand. Eicher Motors and Escorts Kubota also delivered strong double-digit growth, while exports were mixed.
On the mid-cap buzzers, Apollo Microsystems ARM signs an agreement with a private company for execution of 150 crore contract. Piccadilly Agro on fire after starting commercial production at its Chhattisgarh unit, while Blue Dart jumps 8% after tax authorities reduces the tax demand to 65 lakhs from 421 crores.
Additional Coal Secretary says roadshows are underway for Bharat Coking Coal with listings of Coal India subsidiaries aimed at value unlocking and faster production. Meanwhile, Steel Secretary says that 11 to 12% safeguard duty was based on quantified damage from cheap imports, stressing that the need to protect domestic steel makers while balancing costs for consuming sectors. Both are ET Now exclusives. Hi there, very good morning. Welcome back to ET Now, and first of all, wishing all of our viewers a very, very happy 2026 and happy investing to all of you. Well, we are watching Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Srishti Sharma, and over the next 1 hour, we'll take all of your stock-specific queries with our experts on the back of technicals as well as fundamentals. But before we get started, a quick look at how the markets are shaping up at this juncture. And it's a very quiet day coming in for the Indian markets. Well, most of the other Asian markets, they are closed in trade today for New Year's. But since we are trading, it's a very quiet day coming in. The holiday season seems to be in effect. However, holding on to that 26,170 level right now on the Nifty, it's the likes of Eternal, Interglobe Aviation, Wipro, M&M. All of these counters are lending support to the Nifty. But if you talk about Sensex, it's also up about 160 points in trade right now, 85,370. That's the level where it's trading at. Nifty Bank too is holding on strong with gains of more than 130 points, 59,712. That's the level where Nifty Bank is at, and several PSUs, they continue to do well in trade today. However, it's the cigarette-related counters which are trading, in the red today. ITC, Godfrey Phillips, all of these counters on the back of that, excise duty that comes into play on February 1st. That's the latest notification that we have received from the government, and on the back of that, all of these counters, ITC down more than 6%, nearly 7% for that matter. Godfrey Phillips too are trading in the red, more than 4% downtick over there. So yes, Srishti, looks like all of these counters are trading in the red, but otherwise the market is holding on to that shade of green above the 26,170 mark.
Indeed, Kanishka, and that's heartening to note. And definitely markets are showing strength. They did show that on the last day, trading day of 2025. And yes, good gains when it comes to the first day of this calendar year. But with this, viewers, let's get started with all your stock-related queries, because I'm sure that 2026, you will be very excited to make some new purchases as well as to get rid of some of your bad investments that you have made. But definitely, you will be having a lot of stock-related queries as well. And viewers, just for a recap, you can connect with us live on the WhatsApp number that is on your screen, and throughout the show, it will be flashing on the top of your screen. Do write to us, tell us your name, the stock that you have invested in, as well as the stock you wish to invest in, and also tell us the time horizon for which you want to keep that investment with you. Don't forget to mention your name and your location as well. During the show, we'll get some live callers as well. So let's get started. And firstly, let me welcome our special guest for today, who is here to guide us better. And Avinash Gorakshikar is with us on the show. Hi, Avinash. Very good morning. And firstly, Happy New Year to you and your entire team.
Yeah, Shrishti, good morning and Happy New Year to you and Kanishka and the entire 18 Now team.
Thank you so much for that. Well, let's get started. Avinash, a lot of these queries have already started trickling in, and let me take the first query that I have. And this one is coming in on ITC. That's the stock that is indeed hammered in trade today. There are reports suggesting that the duty on cigarettes and tobacco products are expected to increase from 1st of February, and that's what the government notification also says. And Avinash Parish from Bangalore is worried about his investments because he's holding 1,400 shares. Buy price is 417 rupees. But his question is clear. Should he go ahead and buy more in this particular dip for ITC? It's 7% cut right here. Or you believe that it's still a hold or a sell?
No, I think, Shrishti, first of all, the cigarette sector is one sector where the demand is price inelastic. So maybe there is a sentimental kind of negative, for a couple of days. But thereafter, the markets are going to digest this very easily because this cost increase will definitely be passed on to customers. And I think ITC is the largest player in the cigarette market. So I think whatever price, erosion happens because of this duty increase, because of the excise duty increase, I won't be surprised that the company will be passing on this to the customers in the next couple of months. So maybe for the near term, there could be a little bit of margin pressure. But historically, we have seen that whenever any excise duty increase comes in, the company passes on this increase to the customer, and the customers are indifferent. Just like liquor, cigarettes are those kind of products where the compulsion drives them to smoke. So I would say that if the investor has got a 12 to 15 month kind of time frame, around 370, 375 would be a good opportunity to accumulate because fundamentals for ITC remain very strong. It has a cash kitty of almost 15,000 crores, gives very good dividends, and has been one of the leaders in this industry. So I think I would suggest that if he's got a slightly medium term to long term horizon, he can definitely look at buying on the dip.
All right, so you could look at buying on dips. That's the word coming on ITC. But we're also joined by Kunal Bothra now on the technicals. Hi, Kunal. Good morning. And wishing you a very, very happy new year. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Kanishka. Wishing you as well as all the viewers of ET Now a very, very happy new year 2026.
Absolutely. Same to you. But let me come back to you on this ITC query that we have received from Paresh, who wrote to us from Bengaluru. All of these cigarette counters, they are trading heavily, in the downtrend. Selling pressure is what we are seeing on all of these counters. ITC is down more than 7% right now. What do you have to say in the near term? What are the charts suggesting? Is it a good time? Is it a good opportunity to buy on dips for this for all of these counters? And if you could suggest which would be a better pick within this space. Of course, Avinash has already highlighted that the fundamentals remain strong, especially because of the compulsive nature of the product that we are talking about. So, as far as charts are concerned, what is it looking like?
See, I think after this kind of a sharp 7% drop, the near-term charts, of course, for ITC have been impacted. This could mean that maybe the near-term wise, we may look at the stock going into a struggle in terms of trends. My belief is that maybe now we could be looking at potential retest of even the 350 mark or slightly lower levels for ITC, especially after the news flow and the sharp correction on the prices. So this may not bode very well from a short-term perspective for a stock like ITC. So if someone is looking to maybe time the entry or is looking to buy, I would not suggest to venture out into today's dip because there generally would probably be a point where the stock may fall, say, in the next 1 week or 1 to 2 months by a margin of another 5 to 7% at least after this correction. And that I think could be a opportunity where traders may want to probably enter into the stock price. But I think on the longer term side also, ITC has been one of the few stocks which has traded to a range. Long-term charts are positive. Maybe about the 400 levels yet again, the stock may look fairly attractive one more time. But then on the short-term charts, after today's price action, there ideally should be at least another 5 to 7% correction for ITC.
All right, so more correction in works maybe for ITC. That's the call coming in. But on the fundamental side, Avinash does believe that, yes, of course, that's one of their habits. And going forward, ITC looks good, and the stock could be a good buy opportunity at this price point. But with this, let's move on and let's connect with our live caller as well. We have Ekambara joining us on the phone line. A very good morning and Happy New Year to you and your family. Please go on, and we have Avinash as well as Kunal with us to guide you better.
Good morning. Good morning. Wish you a Happy New Year to Kunal and your team. Thank you for taking my call. Yeah, I'm a senior citizen. I am holding this banking stock, Bank of Maharashtra, State Bank, and also ICICI Bank. So Bank of Maharashtra I am holding at a price of 50, State Bank at 770, ICICI Bank at 1353. Is this the time to book the profit or should I hold it? I am actually a senior citizen. I want to hold it for 1 year. But since this is already they have gone around 25% is gone. So I am at the doubt whether I should book profit or should hold it. This is my question.
All right, truly get your point. But Kunal, why don't you help Mr. Ekambara on his investments within the financial space? He's been holding Bank of Maharashtra around 50 rupees, SBI close to 770, 780, as well as ICICI Bank. What are the hopes of recovery here and what should be his strategy?
Good morning and happy new year to Mr. Kambalia also. See, I think the query is quite prevalent because the PSU banking stocks have done fantastically well in the last 3-4 months. So the question is, of course, very very prominent that whether you are looking to whether it's a good time to book profits or whether you're looking to hold this further. If you ask me, I would suggest and be of the very strong opinion that if the market rally sustains going into 2026, which I believe is a very high probability, PSU banking stocks will have to play a very sharp and a very steady role in terms of the outperformance, both on the index front, the Nifty as well as on the Bank Nifty. What we've seen in the last 2-3 months is maybe a restart or a reset for many of the PSU banking names. SBI leading the charge, and then Bank of Maharashtra, many of the other PSU banking names, Bank of India, Canara Bank, etc., looking quite charged up and strong. This generally augurs very well for the year 2026. My expectation is that at least another 10% to 15% rally for the PSU banking stocks could be in the offing, say by mid of 2026 or in the second half, in that kind of a time span. So if you have a time period of 1 year, I would suggest that hold on to both of these names.
All right, so you could look at holding on to both of these names. That's the word coming in the banking space from Kunal. But moving on to another query, this one is coming from Mohit, who's writing to us from Ludhiana. He has 600 shares of JSW Cement. He's bought it at a price of 137, and he's looking at a very long time horizon, 5 years. Avinash, what do you think? Which one is your preferred bet in the cement space? Is JSW one of them? And are these levels good? He bought it at 137. Do you think he should accumulate more since he's looking at a very long time horizon, 5 years?
JSW Cement can be held on. It's a good, promising bet in the cement sector, and I think see the investor has a fairly long time frame in mind. So I think over the next 2 years, hopefully this company will become profitable and will just add a little alpha to his portfolio. But I think rather than putting entire money in companies which have got just listed recently, I would say he should also look at the larger players like Ambuja Cements, which have got the benefit of a large geographical kind of market, a very large capacity built up. So I think overall we are positive on the cement sector. I think both Ambuja and JSW Cement can be held on with a 2-year perspective.
All right, that's the take coming in on select cement counters. But let me move to the next query then. And this query is coming in from a viewer named Ayush. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, Ayush, this is the query on a long-term view on Tata Motors passenger vehicles. And Avinash, why don't you help Ayush with that? Because it has been one of the key underperformers of late on the back of this whole JLR issue. But India business is performing well. JLR expected to bounce back. But is the stock is also expected to bounce back? Your views, and he also wants a long-term view on RailTel.
But I think my guess is that Tata Motors PV looks pretty attractive from a long-term standpoint because, I think Q3 numbers for most of the companies within the two-wheeler and the four-wheeler space are expected to be good. In fact, December numbers have come out, and I think the market is quite positive considering that GST cuts have been announced that has driven a lot of demand for these vehicles. Plus, the rate cuts have happened. There's a good monsoon which happened this year. So hopefully FY27 should also be a lot better. And typically January to March is a period where a large amount of sales occur for most of the automobile companies. So I think keep the faith and hold on for the next, say, 12 to 15 months. Tata Motors PV could definitely give a decent risk reward over the next 12 months.
So you could look at holding on to Tata Motors from a 12 to 15-month perspective. Decent returns expected. But with that, time now for a very short break. We'll be right back to answer more of your queries.
Number one is I am carrying CG Power around 1000 numbers. My purchase price is around 300 rupees average. Actually, it touched 700 plus also, but as on date, it is around 640. So I just wanted to know what should I do with this.
Okay. And which are the
And
other stocks?
second query is NOSIL. I am carrying 350 of them. My average purchase price is 196. Now it is at 153 today. But on daily basis, it's going down only. It's not going up at all.
Right.
And number three is Tata Chemical.
Right.
Here again, I am carrying 250 number. My purchase price is 887. Here again, yesterday it went up by around 3%. Today again it's down, So these are the three my queries.
Okay.
Kindly help me. Thank you.
Tata Chemical, right, or Tata Capital?
Tata Chemical.
Okay, okay. So, Avinash, let me come to you first. He has three queries: CG Power, NOSIL, and Tata Chemical. In CG Power, he's sitting with a considerable amount of profit, more than double that is. So, do you think he should book out some? CG Power has definitely been a standout within its sector, whether it's the OSAT facility or the kind of order wins it has seen in 2025. What is that? What is it that you are seeing in store for CG Power in 2026? What is your opinion? And on the other two, NOSIL and Tata Chemical. Tata Chemical, of course, is one of those volatile shares, especially given the kind of tariff hangover that we have seen in the past year. But going forward, what is the expectation for all three of them?
No, I think as far as CG Power is concerned, I would suggest that since it has not sold out earlier, at least book out 25 to 30% of your quantity and get remaining shares free. I think long-term prospects for CG3 are definitely looking good. They have a very good order book, and I think the Murugappa group is well known for execution, and definitely long-term prospects are good. As far as NOSIL is concerned, I think there could be some pain for some couple of quarters because the product which they make, rubber chemicals, there's a lot of imports which is happening, and the government and the company has suggested for some anti-dumping duty, which has now come in. So I think some relief could be seen maybe in the December and the March quarter. And the other part is the expansion for NOSIL, where they want to expand their capacity by almost 50% is nearing completion. Hopefully by March this will get completed, and the company continues to remain fairly debt free. So most of the expansion is going to happen via internal accrual. So I think if the investor has held on for such a long time, I would suggest the next 6 to 12 months could be definitely be positive, and it's a well managed company and definitely is related to the auto sector. They have tires as their main customer segment. So I think things should brighten up in the next 6 to 12 months.
And what about Tata Chemical?
Chemicals, according to me, in the near term will face a little challenge because soda ash prices have been falling considerably. And most importantly, I think until the time globally soda ash prices don't go up, I think you're going to see some margin pressure happening in the December quarter as well as the March quarter. So here, I think probably he'll have to wait for a slightly longer period. If he doesn't want to book a loss, I think 12 to 18 months is something he's got to hold on. Once the turnaround or the cycle in the soda ash market improves, only then we could see a good rebound in the stock. Till that time, the stock will remain an underperformer.
Okay, so you could book some of your profits in CG Power and continue to hold it on for the longer term. And on the other two, some wait and watch is what is being suggested for some time now. Say from a 6 to 12 months perspective, largely that's the word on NOSIL and Tata Chemical. But Kunal, let me come to you. How is the chart structure looking like for all three of them? What kind of upside can we expect, if at all, for all of these counters, say in the next 6 months?
Interesting set of queries. CG Power is something which I believe, I think at current levels, since the investor missed out buying, booking the profits at higher levels of 700, 750, I think you can start to look at, say, 25% profit booking at current levels. But whenever the stock goes into a rebound kind of a mode and comes closer to 700 mark, I would suggest that you take out at least 75% of your, profits over here, because there could be a spate where the stock may go into a major time-wise correction. We've seen historically that when stocks run up 10x and 20x in a very short span of time, these stocks they tend to consolidate for at least 2 3 years in that sense. So I would suggest that booking profits at every a decent high for CG Power is a better strategy. No sell, I would not suggest an averaging out, even though the short-term charts are looking a little bit oversold because the trend is still negative for no sell. I would suggest that it's better that you try and switch from NOSL to maybe a PSU banking name. That's where I would believe there could be a chance where you may try and get into a much more better recovery. Even for Tata Chemicals, I think it's not one of the best performing stocks from the entire specialty chemical space or the chemical sector as such. So I would suggest an exit from Tata Chemicals also. And if you're looking to switch to the same sector, I think you can concentrate on the likes of SRF, which has been one of the more formidable names in that kind of a space.
All right, so that's the take coming in on all the three counters from the fundamental as well as our technical expert. Let me take the next query, and this one is coming from Padmaseva Rao from Bangalore. And Avinash, he's been holding shares of PNB Housing, 15 shares at a price of 850 rupees. Yes, of course, due to that management rejig, there was some bit of a pressure, but now that is through. The stock is quite very excited. What is the future of this stock for the next 1 year? What's your view?
No, I think the stock has stabilized now, and I think looking at the rate cuts which has happened, housing finance market is definitely shaping up well. My sense is that this is a large housing finance player, and more importantly, after the new chairman managing director has come in, I think the market has more or less understood that growth trajectory will continue maybe for the next 6 to 12 months if the investor can hold on. He could definitely expect the price of around 1050, 1100. Numbers are going to be much better in the second half as compared to last year, and hopefully housing finance is a area where even the government is giving increasing focus. So to that extent, I think you could see some tailwinds happening in the budget also. So till I would suggest continue to hold.
Okay, so a whole call coming on PNB Housing Finance. Let's move on and get another query answered. Now, this is Shaurya writing from Gurugram. Kunal, he has Bajaj Finance. He's bought it at a price of 930 rupees. That's his average price. He's wanting to know whether he should hold on to it or book some of his profits. He's looking at a 6-month time horizon. Now, if you look at the past 6 months, just about 5% gains or so. But could gains be this muted in the next 6 months also, or can we expect, a large, a significant amount of gains over the next 6 months or so?
It's a very interesting question, Kanishka, because Bajaj Finance at current juncture looks to be one of the more weaker stocks in the entire NBFC stroke HFC pocket. In the last 3 6 months, the stock has seen a correction from 1100 levels to now sub 1000 marks. It's a decent 10%, 12, 13% correction for Bajaj Finance in that sense. But I would believe that for the next 3 months or so, 3 6 months, 1 or 2 quarters, the stock may just about try to make a comeback and trade around the 1000 mark. So 1040, 50 on the higher side is what I would expect the stock to head towards, and maybe 950 could be a support for the stock. But then the real trend for Bajaj Finance would probably unfold maybe in the second half of 2026. That's when I would believe that the stock may try and make a comeback. So assuming if the markets also remain into a decent upward trend, I would expect Bajaj Finance to maybe come back towards its life high levels in the second half of 2026. So it's a tricky question in that sense because the viewer has a time horizon of 6 months. For the next 6 months, I don't expect any major up move for Bajaj Finance. But if you can hold on to your hold on to the stock and extend your time horizon to say another 1 year, then I would believe that you can hold on for 1100 plus kind of gains.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Bajaj Finance. Let's watch out for this particular counter. The next query that I have is coming in from specifically for you, Kunal. This query is coming in from Tina. 100 shares of CDSL at a buy price of 1253 rupees. What should be the strategy here? Hold or exit?
I'll suggest a hold on CDSL, even though I think the last 1 or 2 months the stock has disappointed. In fact, I would also believe that in case if it drops down to closer to 1375, 1380 kind of a range, which I believe there could be a probability that the stock may drop to that kind of a territory. That's a very good zone where you will need to start, adding to your quantity or maybe trying to add more because the stock so far is into a corrective mode, but the long-term charts are extremely positive for CDSL. It's just that every now and then the stock goes into a correction slash mean reversion phase, and that's the extremes which you need to wait out for if you're looking to average further into these kind of quality stocks. So a quality stock without any doubt on longer term basis, price wise, closer to 1370 75 is where I would suggest you can do average.
All right, that's the take on CDSL. But now let's connect with a live caller on the show. We have Mohit on the phone line. Hi, Mohit. Morning and season's greeting to you. Please go on and ask your query.
Good morning and happy new year to you and your entire ET Now team.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got 500 stocks of Steel Authority of India at 104. I can hold for the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, next 2-3 years is what we can still hold on to. And Avinash, what's your take here? He's bought at quite a good price, 104, and he's sitting at handsome profits. But yes, of course, just yesterday we had that whole safeguard duty imposition, and even the steel stocks were shining bright. But for the next 2-3 years, where do you see the stock headed?
No, I think he can continue to hold. The safeguard duty of 12% actually gives a further boost to companies like Steel Authority of India. And I think numbers should be better. In fact, data points which we have received is that the second half is going to be much stronger than the first half of this financial year. So sale can definitely benefit. I think, you could expect a decent rise up to 165, 170. And at that point of time, maybe he could consider booking a little bit of profit, but outlook for the next 12 to 15 months is pretty positive. I think steel prices have moved up after a long time. Construction activity and infrastructure spending in India is growing. So to that extent, I think the demand potential and the outlook continues to be positive.
The demand potential and outlook over the next 12 to 15 months continues to be positive for Steel Authority of India. That's the word coming in. But time now for a quick break. We'll be right back to answer more of your queries on the other side.
At play for Eternal. It's moved up hard towards 280, 285 kind of a zone. Maybe I think over the very near term, I would expect say 295 kind of a territory to be tested for Eternal on the higher side. But then if you are asking this as a next 3 month to 6 month or maybe 1 year kind of a time horizon, then I believe that the stock may take a lot of time to try and go into a steady recovery. I believe that it's now getting ready for a major consolidation which could happen sub the 300 mark. So opportunity cost wise, maybe I think it's not the best time to try and look at Eternal from the next 1 year perspective. Trading wise, yes, you can keep on buying the stock at lower levels and then waiting out for 295 as a target. If you're looking at this as a long term, I would suggest wait for a decent sized correction to the stock and then look to enter.
All right, so that's the take on Eternal. But Avinash, the next query is on Zaggle Prepaid, wherein Pratik from Udaipur is writing to us, where he's holding around 1,000 shares and average price of 360 rupees. The stock is currently near the same levels, but he's been holding for the past 4 months. Do you believe that over and above 500 rupees is something that he should look forward to with respect to Zaggle?
See, I think Zaggle Prepaid has a very unique business model and a very strong marquee clientele. In fact, numbers also for quarter two have been quite encouraging. But I think the stock has remained slightly, underperforming. But I think if you look at the opportunity in this space and the kind of unique business model which they have, I think he needs to give in a couple of years before he, gets a kind of alpha which he's expecting. So my sense is next 12 to 18 months, I think he can definitely think of, staying invested here. But don't expect any short-term upside. Maybe in the short term, the stock will remain range bound. But yes, in the longer term, I think he could expect a decent risk reward.
Okay, so you could expect a decent risk reward. That's the word coming on Zaggle. But let's move on and have another query answered. A very interesting query this one is, and a very interesting viewer also. Kunal, there's another Kunal writing to us, and just like you, very smart investor trader is what we could call him. He's a student, and he's bought 100 shares of Suzlon. He bought them at a price of 14 rupees. He's sitting with profits of more than 250% right now. So he wants to know whether he should book his profit and switch to some other stock, or could he see this continued gains that he has been seeing so far. Other than that, he also has Tata Consumers. 1178 is his buying price, and he has a small profit over there. So what's the view? Should he continue to hold on to Tata Consumer, or should he switch?
Yeah, it's an interesting query. I think on both these stocks, Suzlon, for example, I think is sitting on a very good profit. The stock at 70 odd levels faced a huge resistance at that point of time. I think it was end of 2024 where the stock struggled to break past convincingly or hold the levels of 75-ish kind of a territory for Suzlon. And from there, the stock has slipped. I would suggest that maybe just hold on for some more time. Let the stock try to make a comeback around the 58 to 60 mark. That's a very good territory for you to book profits. And then maybe enter into some other, other sectors, because there are so many sectors right now, even within the, the less high beta pocket, if I can call it so, which are looking extremely attractive and which could probably offer you, a decent, probability of a 15 to 20% on the upside. So it makes sense to now, take out your capital as well as, most part of your profits over here from names like Suzlon and start entering into the other names. For Tata Consumers, on the other hand, I think the stock is likely going to just about consolidate for some more time. Maybe in the mid part of 2026 is where I would expect that the FMCG stocks will go into some bit of a recovery or a rally. So keep this as a more trading play. If you're looking at this as a shorter kind of a time horizon, say closer to 1220 odd mark, 1250 range is a good range where you can consider booking profits.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Tata Consumers. But the next query that I have, Kunal, is coming for you. Vinod from Dubai is writing to us where he wants your advice and your top bets, maybe 3 to 4 counters where he can invest right now and keep it for the next 5 years. And Avinash, why don't you also help us with some of the 2 or 3 good stocks that you are currently looking at or liking at, because it's the first January, and definitely people will be excited to make up their portfolios. So Kunal, any stock recommendations?
Yeah, so I think from a next 1 to 2 year perspective, there are many new themes which are emerging in the markets, which are looking very formidable and backed by solid data points. We were discussing this earlier, PSU banking theme. I strongly believe that many of the PSU banking stocks going into 2026 are going on a very robust note, and that I believe should augur very well for the entire sector. My expectation is that names like Canara Bank, SBI, Bank of India, they could probably hold potential rally of at least 10 to 15% going into 2026. So I'll be bullish on this space as such. Talking of the other space, Maruti, I think is something on the large cap auto front, which to me looks extremely attractive. The stock has gone to a new realm of a breakout, something which the stock had not seen for the last 3 to 4 years of a major underperformance with respect to its four-wheeler peers. So that's another name which you can bet on at current levels. And the third would be a slightly high beta stock. You can consider BHEL. The stock is trading at 290-ish thereabout right now. But I think looking at the near-term chart structure, the buying the stock had seen in the previous 2 quarters, it should be there could be a high probability that the stock may go into zones of 350 to potentially even 400 in the next 12 to 18 months. So these are the 3 bets.
So those are the 3 bets coming from Kunal for the next 12 to 18 months. And now we'll stop for a very short break. And after that break, we'll ask Avinash on what are his preferred picks for 2026.
Fly Emirates, fly better.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाइ क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाइ क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
In association with SBI, the banker to every Indian truly. देश निर्माण को अपना सर्वस्व अर्पित करने वाली 3 महान विभूतियों के जीवन आदर्शों और स्थायी विरासत को संजोकर रखने के लिए बनाया गया राष्ट्र प्रेरणा स्थल।
ये राष्ट्र प्रेरणा स्थल उस सोच का प्रतीक है जिसने भारत को आत्मसम्मान, एकता और सेवा का मार्ग दिखाया है।
राष्ट्र प्रेरणा स्थल पर डॉक्टर श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी, पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय और भारत रत्न अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी की 65 फीट ऊंची कांस्य प्रतिमा है स्थापित।
सरदेव अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने भारत को जो विजन दिया, भारत को जो नेतृत्व दिया, आज उसे हम विकसित भारत के रूप में आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में उसे विरासत और विकास के नए रूप में देख रहा है।
सांस्कृतिक विरासत और गौरव का प्रतीक है राष्ट्र प्रेरणा स्थल।
Modern Diagnostic and Research Center Limited launches its IPO on BSE SME platform with a price band of rupees 85 to rupees 90 per equity share. IPO opens on 31st December 2025, closes on 2nd January 2026. Book running lead manager to the issue is Beeline Capital Advisors Private Limited.
2026, take notes. Manifesting for my little Miss Sunshine, tickles and giggles. Also want to be a biker chick this time. And dear 2026, only love for my people and myself to manifest my best life. Nature's cosmic energy. Now mine. Natural diamond intention pendants.
Two hours of staring at clouds. 2 hours of staring, yes. But binge watching your favorites on this window? I love this window. That's Air India now.
Hi there, welcome back to ET Now. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, where we are answering all your stock-specific queries with our experts. And before the break, we spoke to Kunal on all the his top bets for the next 12 to 15 months. But let me come to you, Avinash. Now, what are your thoughts? Which are the top 3 bets that you are picking for 2026?
No, I think we are also positive on the auto component sector and the hospitality sector. And within that, from the large cap, we like Mahindra and Mahindra. We believe that this is going to be the best outperforming stock for 2026. Our fair value is roughly about 4,000. And I think there are many reasons for this. The tractor business, the utility vehicle business, and the electric business are all doing well. And hopefully we could see a very strong FY 26-27 also. So I think to that extent, even at these levels, there could be a decent alpha for people who want to buy and invest in this stock. The other company is Shriram Piston and Rings, again an auto component company. Now, what is interesting is they bought an Italian company called Anto Grolin, which is having a very large, top line base of 1,200 crores. Now, this is going to be acquired in the month of January by the company. So this adds a lot of top line as well as profitability for the company. This year, we expect a profit after tax of roughly about 600 crores, and which can go up to roughly 725, 750 crores once this acquisition is fully complete. So around 3,500 is the target price, which I think investors can expect over the next 12 months. And finally, from the hospitality space, one stock which is underperforming, but which is a market leader in its own segment, is Indian Hotels. Very strong fundamentals expected over the next 6 to 12 months. I think the October to March period is supposed to be a busy season for hotel companies. So I think we could expect a fair value of around 875, 900 here. It's a portfolio stock, and I think investors can add on dips, in this stock.
All right, so that's the take. Those are the top bets from both of our experts. But with this, would request to keep your answers as brief as possible, because we do have many queries and we wish to address them all. And Kunal, I'm coming to you for the next query. This one is coming in from Nitya, holding 10,000 shares of Vodafone at a price of close to 11 rupees. What's the view for the next 3 to 6 months? We are aware of the volatility.
I would suggest a hold on Vodafone Idea. My targets for the next 6 months are closer to 14.5 to 15.
Okay, so that's the view on Vodafone Idea. But moving on, Vinash, let me come to you. We have a long-term query yet again from the hotel space. This is Teja writing to us from Nellore. They have 6,000 shares of Trident at a price of 53. They want to hold them for the next 5 years. Significant loss is what they're sitting with right now. But in the next 5 years, do you think, what kind of return do you think they could have?
I think my guess is Kanishka. This is not a hotel share. This is
Oh, right.
actually into terry towels and paper. So the sector is different. So I would say that I think on any rise the stock should be sold because numbers have been pretty weak for the last couple of quarters, and I don't think you're going to see any major improvement in the next 1 or 2 quarters. So I think it's a better bet that they shift to some other sector, something like private banks or maybe PSU banks, where the risk reward could be better. In fact, from the private sector banks and IDFC First Bank would be better. One could at least see a reasonable risk reward happening over the next, say, 12 months.
That's about Trident. Kunal, the next query is on NMDC. Pinaki Mishra from Bangalore, holding 425 shares, buy price close to 80 rupees. Hold, buy more or sell?
Just a hold on NMDC and maybe even a buy more because I am bullish on the stock. It's a very high potential stock, but somehow the stock has underperformed in the last 1 to 2 years and has been more stuck into a range. My belief is that if you have a time horizon of 1 to 2 years, we could be looking at a potential 95 to even 100 as a potential target for NMDC. So in that aspect, I'll suggest a hold as well as if you have additional capital, you can even look to deploy more at current levels.
Look at deploying more at current levels. That's the word coming on NMDC. But moving on to the next counter, Avinash, this is Raj Agarwal writing to us from Bengaluru. He has LIC Housing Finance 50 shares at a price of 615 rupees. He's asking what's the outlook? Are the fundamentals strong enough? Right now he is sitting with a loss, but he's willing to hold on to it if it does make sense to hold on to it for the longer term. What are your thoughts?
I think he should hold on. See, the parent is LIC, so I mean, a large part of the business comes from the LIC policy business. But more importantly, housing finance is one segment where we are quite positive. We hope that the December quarter and the March quarter is going to be equally stronger as compared to the first 6 months. And hopefully, if the budget gives a further boost to housing, I think that would be a kicker for the stock. So I think continue to hold, keep a time frame of at least 12 to 15 months.
But Avinash, your thoughts on Ola Electric? Ashraf from Kerala and one of the other viewers has also given his query on Ola, but particularly Ashraf holding over 400 shares, buy price 85 rupees, at a big loss. Hold or sell for the long term?
I think numbers, Shrishti, as everyone is aware, have been quite disappointing. So I think unless the investor has got a 2 year kind of time frame, in the short term, it's unlikely that this share is going to outperform. And I think the December quarter numbers are keenly awaited. In case there is some improvement on the volumes and on the margins, then I think you could expect a short term bounce. But otherwise, I think at least 2 years is something the investor needs to hold to make a decent alpha here.
Okay, so that's the view on Ola Electric. But Kunal, a quick one for you as well. This is Vijay from Chennai. He's a long-term investor, but he wants to know, he's wanting to put 1 lakh in L&T. He wants to know, are current levels good to start his investment in L&T or should he wait for some more dip?
I think we should wait for some more dip. There could be a possibility that L&T may try and come back just around that 4,000 mark. That will, I think, will be a better level for you to buy because right now the stock is at the peak of momentum as well as on the higher side in terms of prices. Yes, it looks very attractive on a short-term basis, but then if you try and look at this from the next 3 months to say 1 year kind of a time horizon, I would suggest that buying on dips is a far better strategy. Closer to 4,000 is where I would suggest could be a good buying point.
Right, but Avinash, the next query that I have is on Voltam transformers. We generally don't discuss much about this particular counter, but particularly wherein Suresh from Bangalore is writing to us, he has purchased 28 units of Voltam at a price of 14,220 rupees. Right now, look at the price, it's almost half versus his buy price. What are your thoughts here, Avinash? What really happened with Voltam and what to do with this one?
No, I think the company is a well-managed company from Gujarat. I think it's a very old transformer player, and I think even the balance sheet is pretty good. It's a debt-free business, very old marquee customers with them. But I think the stock has been purchased at a very high level, Shrishti, and I think it's better that on any rise, the investor gets out and possibly puts money on the banking or maybe the auto component side. This is a very difficult investment time for the investor because almost 50% of the capital has got destroyed. So I think it's better to shift on any rise to something like an M&M or maybe a Shriram Finance or typically even an IDFC First Bank. I think hopefully over the next 12 to 15 months, he can think of recovering his losses.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Volta and Transformers. But thank you, Avinash and Kunal, for joining us today and helping us answer all of the stock-specific queries. On that note, we'll let you go. And once again, season greetings to all of you. All right, with that, time now to bid goodbye on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Srishti and I will take your leave, but don't go anywhere. Markets at Noon is coming up next.
You want to talk business? Meet me in the onboard lounge.
In association with Bank of Baroda, play the master stroke with Bank of Baroda.
2026, take notes. Manifesting. For my little Miss Sunshine, tickles and giggles. Also wanna be a biker chick this time. And year 2026, only love for my people and myself. To manifest my best life, nature's cosmic energy.
Now mine, natural diamond intention pendants.
Friends, I want to share some good news with all of you. Firstly, like always, we have performed very well this time also.
But what will we get?
Secondly, we shall invest in employee benefit.
Come on, now tell us what will we get?
And thirdly, we shall invest in LIC's group fund.